Alright guys, welcome back to another Temptation Resort vlog. This one's really exciting because we have come up with 5 brand new tips that we have not talked about before in any video, because we have learned from this trip. Like, we live and we learn, and we learned some good things today, especially our last tip of how we basically spent no extra money and learned how to save an entire day worth of partying. So make sure you stick around for that one. But to start it off, we have new tip number 1. As you guys know, we are always looking to do things the cheapest way possible on a budget, because Temptation loves to pinch every penny that they can out of you when you get here, even a little bit before you get here. Basically, if you want a round trip airport transfer, it's like $100.
If you book it through Temptations.
Yes, if you book it through Temptations. Like, if you're on the website and you're like, oh, this is my first time here, like, I just want to make it easy. And I mean, hey, sure, if you have an extra $100 to spend, go for it. But if you would rather, like, I don't know, take 80 of those dollars and put it towards something else, well, this is how you can do that. Because I was really sick of paying for expensive taxis going to and from the airport, and it's a waste because you don't need to. Cancun, and specifically from Cancun all the way down to Tulum, and maybe even in other directions that I'm unaware of, they have this system called the ADO bus, and it is a very cheap way to kind of get around. So once you get off your plane and you go through customs and you walk through your terminal, when you go outside, no matter what terminal you're in, there's gonna be like a few little like restaurants outside, people trying to sell you taxis. You walk past those people, you follow the ADO bus sign, and then you're gonna see these big red buses. Now, don't automatically assume that they are like bottom of the barrel, like not good buses, because they're not. They're honestly like really nice buses. Brittany didn't do this on her way here. I did this because I got here a day early. So you walk past all the restaurants, you find the big red buses, and they are like air conditioned, like nice like coach buses. They got TVs in there and really comfy seats. And there's room to put like a backpack or stuff like overhead, and like room to put your big suitcases down below, and they don't charge extra for it. But you can go from the Cancun airport to the ADO bus terminal. It's non-stop, you don't stop along the way, for it's like $5.10 or 105 pesos when you get there. So if you get there, you exchange money when you get off the plane, which is what I did. I just like exchanged like a $100 bill, so I had pesos with me for my whole trip. And you just go right up to the counter, you give them 105 pesos, which is about $5 US, and then you get a ticket onto the next bus. They run like, here's the schedule. I'm just gonna like put it over here because I don't remember, but they run very often. You get on that bus, it takes you to the bus terminal, which is then only about a 10-15 minute Uber away from Temptations Resort. So you can literally take an Uber from the ADO bus to Temptations for less than $15. And you know Uber doesn't charge you more per person. So as long as you're not in like, I guess if you have like 6 people, you might need to get 2 Ubers and like split that like that. But if you're with just one other person, you each pay $5 to get from the airport to the bus terminal, and then you split a $10-15 Uber, which would then be like $5 to $7 each if you're splitting it, or $10 alone. So you automatically just saved quite a lot of money, and you can now spend that on the rest of your trip, or you know, maybe a hat here or that. But you can't take an Uber from the airport either. Like, you can take Uber in Cancun, you just can't take it from the airport to your destination.
Well, you have 4 options. You either get it through Temptations. If you get it for free, recommend. If not, hey, if you got $100, you got $100.
Good
you know. Then we have Lindsay's option, which is like the cheapest option and not a bad option at all. Like, the buses seem to be nice, and you know, it seems to get you here quickly. But if you want to get here now, I recommend, like, if you were like off the plane, you're like, I just want to get there, I recommend to either taxi or Uber. Either you walk to the Uber spot and take it over here, which is cheaper out of the 2, or if you're just bougie like me and you're like, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to walk in this heat, I have 5 bags with me, I'm not about to do this, then just take the taxi there, you know, but just plan for like $40.
All right, I'm gonna let Brittany take this next tip because my voice is just like really running on low.
So for this next tip, if you haven't watched any of our other vlogs and you only watched this one, you would know, if you watch our other vlogs, that we recommend bringing a cup with you, because you know, the little cups that they give you, it's annoying to go back and forth to the bar. So if you forgot something, sunscreen, you know, that cup, you know, maybe you want to try to find some decorations or anything like that, like sunglasses, then there is a mini mart, literally like a 5 to 7 minute walk max. Super close by, like right next to the resort.
It's like the next building over. I don't even think there's anything in between.
No, like it's like the sidewalk was kind of like was under construction. However, there was like an outside sidewalk. It was like 2 sidewalks, but like the outside, we just took the outside sidewalk and then like cut through the grass, and it was perfect. You know, she forgot her cup.
I lost my cup at camp. Like, I haven't had that cup for a whole year.
Yeah. So she forgot a cup, and then so we had to go get that. And there was a Starbucks like right across the street. Originally, I was like, oh, just get a Starbucks cup. You know, it's just as good.
I was like, nah, I'm gonna save even more money because Starbucks is expensive.
The cup was only like what, like
$9, and it was the same exact cup that I got here last year, which I know they sell in the store for like $35. But if you would just want to take a 5-minute walk down the street, you can get one for $9, and then you are set for your entire trip to get. I swear that cup probably fits like 4 drinks that you would get if you didn't have a cup.
Yeah.
And when you're in the pool, people are splashing. There's foam. You don't want to get gross stuff in your drink or pool water. So you need the cup with the lid. It's really important.
Yeah, so definitely check out the mini market if you forgot any of the things that I listed, because they have everything in a quick pinch.
Yes.
So for tip number 3.
So this is the first time at Temptations that we have had a completely rainy day. Like, I don't think it happened at all last time.
We got very lucky last time.
Yeah, we did. And granted, I don't think it really rains here that often, but it is the beginning of hurricane season, and I'm pretty sure there's a hurricane right now brewing on the other side of Mexico. So Jesus Christ. So it has been pouring all morning, and like it poured a little bit in the morning yesterday, but then it stopped and the sun came out, so we were like, okay, cool. But today it's in the forecast to rain all day. So we're kind of just like, well, what do we do?
What is there to do?
Like, are people going to look at the weather on their way to Temptations and be like, oh man, like it's raining, like is my trip ruined? Should I like cancel it and move it to another date? But we're here to say no, don't do that, because this is exactly what happens when it rains at Temptations. They just take all of the activities that they would usually do at the sexy pool and they move them into the lobby.
Ew.
So we just walked through on our way back from breakfast, and they had like a pole dancing thing going on in there.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the
Battle of the Sexes.
Battle of the Sexes in there too, which is like switching clothes with like the opposite sex, which like all of these things you're able to do like outside of the pool too. It's just, it's hot. It's Cancun. People want to be in the pool whenever they can, but like that rain is really hard. So they just take everything and move it inside.
They also have like board games. Like we saw like a toy maker carrying like a stack of things. I was like, ooh, Scrabble.
Scrabble. It would just be like naughty Scrabble.
I also saw that there was cornhole like in there. So they definitely try to keep the spirits up.
And they set up more bars too. They just like make makeshift bars, and they got like more little food stands and stuff in there. So it's like, don't worry, like you're still gonna have a great crazy party time, even if you're not in the water. And like the rain, it doesn't really rain that much, so you'll probably be able to jump back in the pool the second.
Well, because like yesterday when we filmed our other vlog, it was raining, but then by the time we were done filming it and then we got like ready, it was like bright, sunny, and we spent the rest of the time outside.
Yeah, and like that lobby gets so crowded now. Like everyone's just in there in their hot outfits and partying, so you're really not missing it. All right, I'm also gonna let Brittany take this next one, because this is something that she went and found out when I was in the pool, and I was like, where did Brittany go? But a lot of people have been asking us about the restaurant She, which is for couples. And we were like, okay, we could be a couple. People think we are anyway, which is random, but you know,
people already think we do.
Exactly. So we're like, well, we'll go and try and experience it for you guys. But this is what happened.
So I went to go use the bathroom, and she is right outside near the quiet pool, and I saw this line outside of She, and I was kind of like, let me go check that out, because I haven't seen that before. Yeah. It was between 3 and 4, I think, was what like the time frame. And I walked over there and I was like, hey, what is this line for? I was like, oh, it's a line to get a reservation at She. Apparently you can't call. Like I thought I saw another vlog that said you could call, but apparently you can't call. They only want reservations in person, and I found out why. So I waited in that line, and I'm like freezing cold because I just got out of the pool. And so then like I step inside, and like it's like this veil, and it's like, oh, like so secretive behind there. I was like, okay, what could be behind here? Anyway, so then they're calling people kind of in like one by one, or like, you know, like by their group, or like kind of like they might have a few groups in there. So then when it's your turn to go, they get you through the veil, and then you see like the area where they have like the performing and everything. It's a really cool setup actually. However, so they sit you down, and then basically a salesperson comes up to you and is kind of like, hey, so we have a lot of VIP tables open. To be the VIP table right next to the stage or whatever, you have to spend a minimum of $100, so like a bottle or something like that. And we only have like 5 to 10 like actual like normal like non-VIP tables. So, and like those fill up quickly. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, that seems really weird. And it just felt like a sales pitch, and it was just kind of like the timeshare thing, where it was kind of like, no, you have to buy it, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, we didn't get reservations because I just felt so uncomfortable. And I was just kind of like, yo, I just want to eat here and experience here so we can bring it to you guys and see what's happening. But like, it was just a sales pitch. So if you do want to spend $100, great, do it. I'm sure it'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
However, you know, if you don't, I think you just have to be more persistent. Maybe I just felt uncomfortable. I was like, okay, well, I'm cold, because it was very cold in there. I was in a swimsuit. It was wet.
The pool. Oh, and somebody else said that it's a set menu.
Oh yeah, it is a set menu. That was another thing too.
Yeah.
They have like most restaurants, they have like a sheet where you can turn maybe like 3 sheets max. And then one of those, like half of that sheet is like a premiere thing. However, this one was kind of like, no, this is like all we have to offer. And Lindsay has kind of like a stricter diet, and I was kind of like, oh, do you guys have vegetarian? And they're like, well, anything that we have, we can do without food. I mean, without like the meat and stuff like that. But you know,
more like vegan. Like I don't eat cheese either, and like I don't know if they're like because they don't have vegan options here. They have vegetarian options here, but like, usually I can choose.
And I probably would have pushed more if she was with me, because I don't even know if she would liked it. I would have had to guess and be like, I hope she just likes this, you know, because I'm not dietary like restricted, and I wouldn't want you to go and like still be hungry and not have a good time. So but there was a couple behind me. However, they were kind of like in the same boat. They're like, we don't want to pay, like why would we pay when we paid so much per year? And I found them later, and I was kind of like, oh hey, like how'd it go? Because they stayed for the whole thing. I was like, no, I'm cold, I'm trying to get back to my friend. I didn't even let her know. I've been already gone for like a long time.
I was looking for her for so long.
And then I went back, and then I talked to them, and they were kind of like, yeah, you just have to be like really persistent and just be like, no, I want a normal table. If you don't have it, then I'll come back a different night or something like that, and try to get a reservation then. So if you do want to experience it, don't let that deter you away from, you know, wanting to do it. Just make sure that you just stand your ground and be like, no. And if they don't have a table, then try again another day.
Yeah, so that's as much of a lowdown as we can give you about that restaurant. Because I know a lot of people did have questions, because like we had those questions. We were like, we really didn't even know what it's about. But you get a good dinner and a show, probably better for couples, because it's all that aphrodisiac food, and I'm just like, I just want to eat.
Yeah.
So I just want to eat. Like I'm not here for like that really. But that's what we can give you on that. All right. Are you ready for the best tip?
Best tip that was a complete accident.
Yeah, we had no idea that this was gonna be a thing, or that this was gonna happen before we got here.
But it turned out to be the best thing that and now we're probably gonna do this every time we come.
We are 100%. Like this is how it's gonna go down from now on. So you're money saving girls, and that like to get the most party out of their money. By the way, before I tell you this tip, hit that subscribe button, because this is not our last Temptations video, and we got plenty more coming at you, and you're gonna love this tip, so you're gonna want to see more, we promise.
And if you haven't seen our other Temptation vlogs, double check on her
links below.
Yeah.
Yes.
I totally messed it up. But watch all of them, basically.
Watch all of them. Link down below.
I was trying to be too much like a YouTuber and be like, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, and blah blah blah. Just watch all of them so that you can be fully prepared.
We're more of awkward people than like your studio YouTubers, but you know what? We're very real and very much ourselves.
Very personal.
Okay, so last time that we got here, what time did we arrive at Temptation? Would you say?
Probably like 4 or 5.
Ended at like 3 something, so we didn't even get to the hotel.
It's like 4 or 5.
Until 4 or 5, right? And then we checked in, and we're a little tired because we just spent all day on a plane, and then traveling from the airport to Temptation, and then getting all our stuff in the room, and then getting ready, and then it was like, well, okay, it's kind of time for dinner. Like I think maybe we could spend like an hour in the pool, but at that point it's like 6 o'clock, and most people are out of the pool by 7.
Yeah.
So then we just get here, we go to dinner, and then we would come back and get ready for the theme night. Which, sure, that's fine, but it's like $400 a night to stay here. So I kind of want to get all $400 worth of that, right? So this is what we did. Like I said, I got here 2 days before coming to Temptations. I stayed at a hostel like 10 minutes away from the resort. And I was just like, okay, you know, Brittany stayed at the hostel for 1 night with me. And then the day came where it was time for us to check in here, and we're like, well, we got to be out of here by 12. We were wide awake and ready to leave by 10 a.m. We were like, let's just go over to Temptation early. Like, why not? We have nothing else to do and we have all of our luggage. So we took a 10-minute ride over. We got in this building at like 10:30.
This goes probably closer to like 11.
Either way. And then like she was like, okay, like, hey, welcome, like, well, let me see if I have a room ready for you. And I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, I just like was assuming we'd be able to put our stuff in storage maybe, but our room was ready at 11. We were able to check in at 11 a.m. Get our wristbands, and we spent the entire day partying instead of being tired from the travel from the plane and all those things. So it's like, it might be more worth it to get here a day early, stay at a cheap place nearby in Cancun for like, I spent $11 on a bed. I mean, hostels are my thing. She spent like $70 on a room, which if you're with a couple, then you just split that in half. It's like $35, not $400 a night per room. And then just come over here so you could get the most out of your first day, because like that was so much better. We got so much more out of our money.
And it's crazy too because it was complete accident, because like we booked this trip on like a Black Friday sale, which we recommend to save money.
Yes.
They have great deals around that time. And then we were like, okay, we'll do like Thursday to like the Tuesday that we're here. And then obviously we wanted to try to find plane tickets around the time, but for me doing like a Wednesday to Wednesday, so like coming a day early and staying an extra day, that was way cheaper. Like it was like $400 or $500 cheaper flight. So, and then that's why she came 2 days early and everything.
Yeah.
So
it's like I saved so much just by coming early.
So complete accident, but we're like, you know what, we'll make the best of it. It's fine. We'll just stay an extra day and we'll just like, you know, I was already tired for my trip. So I'm kind of glad that I like didn't come here the first day, because I would have been so tired. Yeah, but complete accident, but it turned out to be a really cool and like great tip, because also too what we found out is like they do cut off your wristband, and we thought like, oh, you have to be out because like they check for wristbands, but I think if they know that you've been here for a while, they don't kick you out right away. You're kind of like, oh, my flight doesn't leave until like 8 or whatever tonight. They're like, okay, well, you can hang out until like 5 or 6. I think.
Like 5 or 6, because you're not like allowed to go back to the restaurants and stuff for dinner that night, because they always ask for your room number when you like go in to eat. But we are literally allowed to stay at the pool and party and drink until like 5-6 p.m. the day that we check out. So we also are then leaving from Temptations to go back to that hostel, spend one more night there. But yeah, so we're going to stay here as late as we can, and then we're just gonna go back over to that hostel. So funny story, we're booking another night and sleep and get ready for our flight the next day, so we don't have to like be worried about drunk going to the airport, because we wanted to have some breakfast mimosas. We're leaving. I don't want to leave at all. It's been the best trip ever. We got an extra day. Well, we're tired. The voice is gone. Everything gone. But you know what? It's an incredible trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are literally getting the equivalent of like a whole other day here, and not even spending any extra money, just by thinking ahead and getting here early and staying a little bit late.
We're just getting the most bang for our buck here at Temptations.
And like there are like, obviously this place is very expensive because it's a unique experience. It's all inclusive, great food, but there are so many places in Cancun that are very cheap. I was staying by the airport when I got stuck here like last March, and me and the girl I was staying with, for 2 double beds, we were paying $28 a night just for like a regular basic hotel with a pool and like a private room. It just really depends on what you pick. Go on booking.com, there's plenty of options, but I really think in the long run, you save a lot of money that way. This place is amazing. You really don't want to leave here. You might not have a voice by the time you leave, but you're still gonna party hard, because this is the language that everyone knows here.
Well, thank you guys for watching. We had so much fun telling you guys the extra tips and stuff that we have. We learned this trip.
Yes.
Please catch us on the next one, and we hope to see you in the next vlog.
Yes, because we will. Bye!